Zack Snyder posted about Henry Cavill. The new movie is dominating streaming. We've got sequel details, a massive convention happening this weekend, and I've found collectibles ranging from $20 books to museum quality statues. So let's celebrate everything Superman related over the next hour. Welcome to Superman Homepage Live. My name is Steve Eunice, and joining me as always are my two friends, Michael Bailey. Hello, Michael.
Hey.
And Mark Lax. Hello, Mark.
Hello, gentlemen.
How are we both tonight? What's happening? Anything interesting?
Meh.
Yeah. Same here.
Lots going on, just nothing to do with Superman.
Yeah. That's true.
Fair enough. Well, this is Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. And in this show, we're going to be covering all those topics and more, but we'll also be turning to you to take your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss. And to let you know how all that works, Michael, why don't you give them the lowdown on what they need to do to get involved in tonight's show if we decide to take callers?
It's dirt simple. They just go to supermanhomepage.com/live, press the call now button, where they'll be allowed into the green room. They can do the same thing by scanning the QR code with their phone, where it says scan me. It's, I think, right over there. No, pointed in the wrong direction. Never mind. We're going to keep moving. If you are watching the show on your desktop or laptop and you're using the call now button, through that, please mute it when we get you on the line because we're on a bit of a delay and that can screw things up. If you're using an external speaker, and if you're using your smartphone, please use your AirPods or earbuds or whatever, because the speakerphone just doesn't work.
Yes, indeed. Now, and if you're a little bit shy and you don't want to get on the phone to talk to us tonight, then feel free to participate in the comments. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube tonight. So on any of those platforms, anything you have to say, type your comments. Mark, Michael, and I will be able to react to those and answer any questions you might have. But we want to get some housekeeping things out of the way first. We want to thank our sponsors and patrons, our Superman champions. Thank you very much to Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Rick Schutzow, Jamie Klingensmith, Tina Murray, and Cara Laka. Thank you so much for your support. You keep this show free for everyone. And if you would like to join these folks and have your name read out at the beginning and end of every show, or your company's name, that could be as well, anything you've got going on, then feel free to go to patreon.com/Superman homepage. There are different levels of membership with different levels of perks, one of them being a sponsor and having your name or company read out at the beginning of every show and end of every show. All right, let's get into tonight's topics, and we start with the... I don't like to use the term clickbait because I don't like to use clickbait, but I got accused of, sprouting BS in tonight's main topic, and that is in regards to Zack Snyder posting on his Instagram account an image, supposedly an unseen image, although it kind of doesn't look that unseen to me. I think we've seen it before, but maybe I could be wrong. Could just be a separate take of it. But Henry Cavill as Superman from Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. He says he's shot in monochrome 50mm Noctilux, 3 weeks on Instagram. Thanks to everyone. So I'm guessing Zack Snyder was celebrating 3 weeks on Instagram, but supposedly before that, I don't know where he was. Maybe just on Twitter and X and other places. But he posted this image as a celebration of that milestone with the caption, "Henry Cavill is Superman." Now, it's a simple comment in and of itself, but boy, did it create a bit of a stir because people thought that he was trolling James Gunn's Superman movie and David Corenswet and saying only Henry Cavill is Superman, or Henry Cavill is my Superman. Well, which is technically true if you was going to say that, because as the maker of the movie, Henry Cavill was and is his Superman. But are people reading too much into this? Is there anything behind it? Should we be taking umbrage at Zack Snyder saying Henry Cavill is Superman? Surely not.
No, not at all. This is I think what the kids today call a nothing burger. It's one of those things where suddenly everyone's losing their minds over something that isn't really important right now. I mean, if Gunn's Superman film had flopped, and he was doing something like this. I could see that being more of a thing, because then, maybe you're just trying to jockey position to get back into the thing because the other thing failed. But I just took it when I saw it as to Zack Snyder, Henry Cavill is Superman, because that is the Superman he made. There is nothing more to it than that. There are many comments from Zack Snyder that I can take umbrage with. Many insulting comments about people having opinions about how their characters or their heroes should be portrayed in fiction. But this isn't one of them. It's a stupid thing to get mad about. And this is what's really driving me away. I've completely left X. I don't even go there anymore. I don't look. It's a cesspool. Other places are marginally better, but it's just like, this is why I stay out of these arguments now, because they're just stupid.
Yeah, Mark, your thoughts on this? Because I saw some articles saying Zack Snyder drops mic, says that Henry Cavill is the only Superman. He didn't say anything of the kind. He didn't state that there was anything other than Henry Cavill is Superman. And as people are in the comments are saying, Kirk Allen is Superman, George Reeves is Superman, Christopher Reeve is Superman, David Corenswet is Superman, Dean Cain is Superman. All of them have been Superman at one point or another, and that's all there is to it, really. I mean, surely, maybe if he'd written Henry Cavill was Superman, but that's weird to say that.
No. I mean, for all we know, this week he's going to say Ben Affleck is Batman and Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, and he's just going to, run off. Who knows? But I mean, to him it is Superman, because that's Henry Cavill was his Superman. I mean, I don't know what else you could. I mean, yeah, you could read a million things into it. Oh, he's trolling James Gunn. He's like, I don't know that. He just posted this thing. That it was like, I guess he said 3 weeks he was on Instagram, his first 3 weeks or something. And I guess he found this thing and he said, I'm going to post it. Henry Cavill is Superman. And I don't think it goes much farther than that.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I agree. I don't see why, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's crazy that people, seriously, some of the headlines that I saw that were trying to push people into a debate over it. And, I said he broke the internet. Obviously, our headline was, kind of just tongue-in-cheek, because to some people, it was the be-all and end-all of all they could discuss that week. And it was kind of crazy to me that that is the hill you want to die on, trying to talk about, whether or not Zack Snyder is trolling one, particular Superman over another. Or anyway, but yeah, people in the comments reminding me that, Zack Snyder was predominantly on the Vero social media platform. And so obviously Instagram is something that he's only been doing for the last couple of weeks, but he has been posting photos over on Vero and other social media platforms, but not necessarily Instagram. So, folks, you can read into it if you want to, but he simply shared a photo celebrating his 3-week anniversary or milestone on being on Instagram, and shared a photo that he found of Henry Cavill from Batman v Superman, and put a subtitle underneath it. There's nothing more than that. He's not trolling anybody. He and James Gunn are friends from what we understand, and photos that they've shared together. So I don't think we can we don't have to worry about that side of things. So let's leave that one behind. Let that one go through the catcher, and we'll just move on to discuss other important topics. All right. Now, speaking of James Gunn and his Superman film, the rankings for streaming that took place in the first week that the film came out on streaming, so September 15th to September 21st, those rankings have come out and are available now. And we have to remember that Superman only came out on September 19th. So 4 days into that week had already passed without Superman being available, yet the film still ranked at number 4 on that week's rankings for streaming, which I think is pretty impressive. And a lot of people missed that fact that it came out on September 19th, where this week of rankings started September 15th. So it wasn't even available for rankings in those first 4 days.
Yeah, I mean, again, if social media is any indication about whether or not something is being consumed, the number of clips that were populating TikTok and all of the commentary from people on Threads and Blue Sky and all that, it doesn't surprise me. This film was very popular in a way that I think Superman Returns wasn't, and I don't think Man of Steel was. Zack Snyder to the side. There, that's your that's your viral making clip there that you can put together there, Steve. But no, it's just this is one of those things where I read it, I'm like, yeah, of course, because everyone really liked it, and it's a popular film. I'm glad that HBO Max is getting the revenue from it. Maybe they'll put some Superman stuff back on to the site so that people can watch it.
Yeah, no, that's impressive.
Yeah. No, I'm thrilled that it's just remaining this popular. So I mean, since the movie came out in July, I mean, it's still it's still talked about. It's still up there. It's still breaking some records. I mean, it's just it's exciting, and it's a movie that we all really really enjoyed. And I'm just happy to see that not only is it still having some success, but maybe people either re-enjoying the movie or enjoying it for the first time. That's nice to see.
Yeah, indeed. So I'll be really interested to see when we get the streaming rankings from Nielsen for the week September 22nd to September 28th, which will be the first full week that the film was available on streaming, to see where it ranks. Because I saw a lot of people going, oh, it couldn't even beat Elio, it couldn't even beat K-Pop Demon Hunters. And let's be honest, K-Pop Demon Hunters is like this phenomenon on Netflix. Yeah. It was just absolutely bonkers how it's still ranking up so high even now. Yeah, I mean, Superman to rank at number 4 with only 3 or 4 days of being available in that week, to me is impressive. So let's wait for the second week of its release to see where it went and where it ranked in the top 10 movies. And you can be sure that on the 24th of this month, when those rankings are available, that I will be writing a report about it for the Superman homepage website. So let's wait and see. But it did pretty well in just a couple of days already. All right, moving on, talking about film still. Superman, the red carpet premiere car that Toyota included in the film. It obviously wasn't painted like this, but it was nevertheless a... where is it? Here it is. It was obviously Lois Lane's car in the film, but it was a silver grey version of it. That's when she was... You only see it briefly. She was like, we'll take my car to Mr. Terrific. And he goes, no, let's take my ride. And that's when they have that scene with him with that garage door slowly opening up to show his T craft. I think it was called T craft. What do they call it? T-mobile, something like that. But
no, T-mobile sounds too much like T-Mobile. So I think they probably would have avoided that. There might have been some copyright issues there.
So this car is going to be at Motor City Comic Con in November 14th and November 16th. And it will be there for fans to, I guess, take a photo with or what have you. But it was Lois Lane's car. It is the Toyota, what is it called? The BZ. So that's the latest all-electric car from Toyota, and it was used in the film, and it'll be at Motor City Comic Con. So if you're there and you want to take a photo with it, but it's kind of weird because it's like it's Superman's red trunks are there on the side of the car.
Yeah, it was like, are we going to talk about the fact that this thing's wearing the trunks? I mean that
was not even
the
at the
first
trunk.
thing I noticed. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's some ironic. Well, maybe it's because whoever painted it was from the UK and they wanted to call it a boot. since that's that's kind of a popular. No, I just it's not the most attractive car, and that's not the most attractive paint job. So, but I'm glad. I hope everyone has fun taking pictures with it. That sounds really snarky, but it's just those trunks look bad, and I don't normally say that. But I think there was a design there that just isn't popping for me.
Yeah, interesting, weird. All right, so that's the car available at Motor City Comic Con. All right, Nicholas Hoult, who played Lex Luthor in the Superman film, has teased a bit of the Lex Luthor's expanded role in the sequel, Man of Tomorrow. He appeared. He did an interview with GQ magazine in which he discussed the role of Lex Luthor and the fact that he has an upcoming larger role in the sequel, Man of Tomorrow. He says he hasn't read the script yet to Man of Tomorrow, but hopefully will soon. And added, through my research and prep, I feel there's a lot more for me to explore and for us to explore. But he just did say that he spoke to James Gunn recently, about a week or two ago, about Man of Tomorrow and his idea for the film, and said, I'm really excited to play that character again because I feel like there's a lot to explore with him and expectations to subvert.
It says expanded role. He was a huge part of the first movie, so I don't know how you expand much from there unless he's like literally getting equal screen time with David.
Well, it's more like a buddy movie, I guess, where they're teaming up to, defeat the big bad or the bigger threat. He may get just equal screen time with David Corenswet in this one.
Well, they'll probably have more face-off. They were really only in 2 scenes together. 2 scenes, I think.
Yeah, probably a little
2 or
bit.
3. No, 3. They were
in the Pocket Universe.
Scene in the office, scene in the Pocket Universe, and then the confrontation at the end. So 3.
Yeah.
But I'm talking Nicholas Hoult just in general is
screen
all throughout
time.
that.
Yeah, it's a big part of the movie.
It's so it's just kind of weird. It's like he's got an expanded role. He was one of the main driving forces. I mean, I'm words have meanings. I'm just kind of confused.
Maybe it's just the 2 of them and the villain. Maybe that's all we see. The 2 of them and the villain. That's it. It's a 3 act. I don't.
They're constantly going to just have the guy playing Ron Troop just standing in the back room saying nothing, so that they can continue that into this film.
Yeah, that made a lot of sense even then. But
Celeste in the comments says, "Do you think that Lex and Superman will face off against Peacemaker?" I don't necessarily think that Peacemaker is a threat to either of them. I mean, we've seen. I watched the episode just recently of where Lex Luthor appeared on Peacemaker season 2 in jail, and he was walking with the aid of a walking stick because obviously after Krypto threw him around.
Yeah, I was about to say he got worried by Krypto. I mean, it's just I have a dog. My dog Gracie wants my socks every time I come home from work, and she just shakes them furiously. So I'd be walking with a stick too.
So I don't think necessarily Peacemaker is a threat to either of them, and whether as a face-off or not. I mean, we saw Peacemaker appear as a cameo in Superman, and we've seen Lex appear as a small role in Peacemaker. But I think beyond that, there probably isn't too much of a crossover between the 2 projects. All right, well, let's move on. Speaking about Superman films still, Brandon Routh recently appeared on an episode of Taboo's Comics and Kicks on YouTube, where he was a special guest and spoke about playing Superman in Superman Returns and other projects that he's discussed in that podcast interview. And here's a little bit of a clip where he talks about having to act, without and trying to find the inner turmoil within his character, even though he himself doesn't necessarily like to tap into the angry feelings that he has or tries not to have.
To find that, even though we don't see it in the movie, because lifting up New Krypton at the end of the movie, there's a lot of that. Like I had to, when you're pushing against something that is made up, just pushing against a board. And for a long time, like different levels of like, now I'm this high into the atmosphere. Now I'm this high in the atmosphere. How much pressure, how much force am I using? And it becomes not physical at a point. It becomes like your inner energy, what have you, my passion for life and humanity just pouring out into lifting this up and saving people. It's the passion. It's like it connected to, deep soul stuff, I guess. And though you don't see it in the movie.
So there's just a little bit of him talking about trying to find that inner passion and inner acting ability to tap into stuff that's not necessarily physical. He says we don't necessarily see it in the movie, but I mean we see him struggling against the new Krypton and trying to lift it. But maybe you don't see the close up on his face is probably what he's indicating there. But having met Brandon and interviewed him extensively for the website, I always love hearing him talk. He really is a genuine human being. He's just great to be around.
Yeah, he seems like every interview I've ever seen him in, he seems like a genuinely good dude. The interview he did with Rosenbaum where he was like breaking down how the aftermath of Superman Returns affected him didn't make me reevaluate the movie, because I still feel about the movie the way I feel about the movie, but I've always contended that the problem with the film wasn't him.
No.
Or his performance. I mean, he gave a performance that he brought the script to life. It's just what he's supposed to do as an actor. And I think, I don't know if he realizes how historic he is, because he is the first Superman to ever face off against another Superman in live action. That has never happened before. Mm-hmm. And for everyone that's about to like chime in, well, what about Dean Cain fighting Tom Welling? And Dean Cain wasn't playing Superman in that. He wasn't playing another Clark Kent. He was playing he was essentially playing Vandal Savage, but they couldn't call him that. Mm-hmm. But that's getting into the weeds. But his place in Superman history is vastly underrated in terms of portraying that character. And I think it's not that I want to take anything away from David Cornsweet or Henry Cavill, but I think at the end of the day, Brandon Routh got a worse hosing in terms of not getting to fulfill what was promised than Henry Cavill did. Henry Cavill got to come back and do it 5 times. If you want to count Justice League twice, I guess.
Well, he technically did come back to film some scenes for that.
Yeah, and he did, and he came, and you have Black Adam and all that, and yeah, I'm not trying to suggest here that Henry Cavill didn't get screwed over too, because he most definitely did. That was a poorly handled situation from word go. Mm-hmm. But Brandon Routh gets cast. They promise, it's like there's this promise of a whole franchise, and then nothing, and then nothing, and then he's just kind of cast aside until Crisis. So I just, it's always fascinating hearing former Supermen talk about playing the character. What I liked about that clip more than anything was the fact that it's a thing that we're not supposed to think about as the audience, of what it's like to basically work against a green screen for that amount of time. And the
especially
thought,
as a young actor.
And the thing is, like, I'm this high in the atmosphere. I'm this high in the atmosphere. It's like, we're not supposed to think about that. We're just supposed to watch the film and go, ooh. But when I find things out like that, I have so much more of an appreciation for what these people put into the role. And not in just, embodying the character or wearing the costume, just in the nuts and bolts of having to pretend that you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Well, as far as green screen and all that, we did get some of those early pictures of David Cornsweet just holding something up, and we had no idea what it was. I think it was a board or something, and
Hmm.
we knew later on that they put something in. I think it ended up being the kaiju. I could be
Yeah, the
wrong,
foot
but
of the kaiju.
yeah, I think that could have been it. But yeah, Brandon Routh just seems like such a nice guy. He just even from the beginning, even the early interviews, when Superman Returns was coming out, and and he took a lot of it in stride. I mean, people blamed him for the movie not being that successful and all that, and it was not him. It was not him at all. I mean, I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but anything wrong with that movie was not him. So yeah, I feel a little bad that he had to kind of take that on, when it really wasn't his fault. But yeah, he just comes off as a really nice guy.
Mm. Yeah, he does. And I've met him twice, once here in Sydney when they were doing the filming, and then in Metropolis, Illinois, where I got to sit down with him for nearly an hour talking about Superman Returns. And he is just generally a nice, decent human being and very giving of his time. In the comments, JP Rocha saying that he heard rumors that McFarlane Toys are set to do a Superman Returns set of wave of action figures. I hadn't heard that personally. We got a ton of Superman Returns action figures when the movie came out. I kind of cringed to think what McFarlane Toys would do with them.
Please tell me it's like 4 Superman figures and Lex in the Arctic gear, and that's the wave. I mean, it was the most boring wave of action figures ever. Like some of the figures themselves were actually technically kind of nice.
Mm.
I bought like 10 of them when they
Yeah,
came
same.
out in 2006. And every once in a while I take them out and I'm like, these are actually, I mean, they're very playable, they're very posable. But it was Superman, with a flame thing. Superman in this. Superman wearing an evening coat with his father, and all that. The 2-pack from, and then there was just, "Hi, I'm Lex Luthor in Hoth." So it's just, I think that's as much as people complain about the fact that Mr. Terrific and Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl and Metamorpho were a part of the Superman film. I have to agree with Rob O'Connor of All Star Superfan that probably one of the big reasons those were in there is that they could have an action figure line based on the movie that's not just Superman and Lex Luthor in a suit.
Yeah, well, they got a lot of mileage out of the kaiju, didn't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, they did. I go Walmart. Finally, one of the local WalMarts finally put out like a display of it, a display of figures and stuff, and like that kaiju and then abominable snowman Yeti thing that wasn't even in the film are like no one's buying them, but there's a whole lot of versions of them.
In the comments, Mario says, this is McFarlane losing the DC license soon. Yeah, they've got up until the end of 2026 to be releasing action figures. So there's still a year and a bit to go.
And it's funny. I love that Mattel, in announcing, them having the license, they're like, we're producing kids' toys, very soon, but in 2027 we can start producing adult-oriented toys. I don't know if they realize what that sounds like.
Yeah.
I just, words have meaning, as I said earlier, but it's funny. Like, McFarlane is releasing a gangbuster figure. I mean, I saw that and went, okay, we have finally done it. We have finally hit like the level of obscure, and I love gangbuster. Do not take me saying obscure as a pejorative, but that's not a character that a lot of people are aware of. He had a very finite amount of time in the comics, and now he's going to be one of the gold label special figures. And I'm just that they're not going to send Jerry Ordway because apparently they don't do that. I don't understand that, but they don't do that.
Sith Happens says, tongue in cheek, that Todd McFarlane has about 368 more Batman figures to make.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I know.
In all honesty, like 3/4 of all these lines of Sorry, mind the gap. Kids love Gangbuster, 90s Superman. That was very funny. No, but you got to understand when McFarlane got the license and when they produce these toys, he's not kicking out a bunch of Batman toys that aren't selling.
No, exactly. They're all flying off the shelves.
Like and the fact that I will take like the 15th version of the Batman Who Laughs over because they've been doing action figures based on Batman Returns, based on Batman Forever, based on Batman and the Batman and Robin figures were better than the movie. And again, I say that as somebody who unironically loves that film.
So there you go. More action figures coming. All right. Let's have a look. I remember last week we mentioned that Superman, there was like a movie poster, a Superman poster, the Japanese Superman the movie poster found in the one of the films out at the moment, One Battle, One More. What's that one with? Anyway, we mentioned it last
Battle
week.
After Another.
Yeah, One Battle After. That's the one. Yes. Well, this week we've spotted another Superman movie poster in another Hollywood film. This one is in After the Hunt, starring Julia Roberts. And this was the poster that was spotted. Oh, that's Lex Luthor, not that one. That's not it either. Where is this poster? Here we go. So on the right-hand side, so this is Julia Roberts. I think it's Julia Roberts. But this character is walking out of the Chapel West Wine and Liquor Store, obviously having bought some liquor or wine. And next door is the Alternate Universe comic book store. And in the window there is a Superman Year One poster by John Romita Jr. And this is the poster. If you haven't seen it, I can't. Let me see if I can find the actual original one for you. But can you see Superman there on the right-hand side?
Yeah, I can see. My first thought when I saw the picture was, of all the posters to hang in your window,
exactly.
I was just going to say that you can physically own. You choose Superman Year One, the Superman story that when mentioned, most people go, "What?" Because they don't know that it existed.
And maybe that's for good that they don't. Oh, maybe not. I don't.
Yeah, so that was Julia Roberts walking out of that liquor store. But yeah, that store actually exists. It's a real store. I thought I had the details of where it was, but the store itself is a real life store, and the Alternate Universe comic book store is the name of that business. So yeah, this is the film After the Hunt, starring Julia Roberts, and that's just another Superman poster to appear in yet another film, 2 in 2 weeks. So there you have it. All right, we are going to take a quick break. We are going to come back on the flip side to talk about some convention appearances. Cincinnati Comic Con, huge lineup of Superman celebrities at that. We're also going to talk comic books. We've got merchandise coming out of our ears. And we've got This Week in History and the fan favorite question to get through as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after these messages.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, a up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
SupermanHomepage.com? All right.
Hey, this is Christopher Gorham. You're on the Superman Homepage.
Hey, this is Sam Witwer, and you're watching Superman Homepage.
DC. Comics. Incredible. Action. Astonishing. Adventure. The coolest heroes. The bravest heroines. And the most outrageous villains. Too tough for TV. In the universe. DC Comics. Read 'em and love 'em.
The old DC TV commercial from 1995. That woman's voice whispering everything.
I don't know if that was ever shown on television.
Oh, okay.
I remember seeing it on the video. They put out a bunch of videos with 2 or 3 episodes of Batman the Animated Series at the time, and I remember seeing it on there. I mean, see, now I'm doubting myself because I think maybe it was something that was provided to a comic shop could use it and then put their information at the very end to sell advertising on television. I have to look into that. Now I'm doubting myself again. Today.
Sounds like an interesting day, Mike. All right, well, let's jump into our regular segments, and let's start with the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, before we jump into the fan favorite segment, Celeste has just said that she was born in 1995, and she's making me feel really old.
I mean, she's 30. I mean that's it's my birthday is February 1st, 1994. Okay, I was not yet 18, so at least I got that going for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Thanks, Celeste. All right, let's move on to the fan favorite segment of our show, and our fan favorite question from last week was, what is your favorite song that mentions Superman? And while we're not going to be playing the songs here today, we are going to list them for you so that you can go check them out for yourself. And we have quite a few responses to get through. Who was up first, Michael?
Wonder wrote in, my favorite song that mentions Superman is Holding Out for a Hero, produced by Jim Steinman, which makes it one of the best songs ever made. Awesome. That last part was me, not him.
No, exactly. Yeah. That is such 80s hairdo. Thank you, Bonnie Tyler.
Yeah. Isn't she Australian?
I don't know. I don't have any idea. Quickly do a search. Can't let an Aussie go past without mentioning him.
No.
All right, Mark. While Mark was looking.
I'm sorry, she's Welsh.
She's Welsh. Okay.
Never mind. Kind of different.
Little bit.
My favorite song that mentions Superman is Superman Dead by Our Lady Peace. It's a Superman song I've listened to the most as I enjoy the band. If I were to answer by lyrics, I would go with Rick Astley's Superman. Lyrically, it's very strong. I also use it as one of the songs on a playlist mixtape that I made for my wife.
Thank you very much, Roy. Very interesting choice. All right, next up we have John Patrick Van Pelt, who said, my favorite Superman song has to be Superman It's Not Easy by Five for Fighting, which I sometimes sing in my head from time to time. Thank you very much, John. I think Michael has a love-hate relationship with that one.
No, it's a hate-hate relationship, but that's okay. Heath Fedora wrote, my favorite song that has Superman in is Long Gone by Lady A, or Lady Antebellum, I guess. It contains the line, "Gone like the wind under Superman's cape."
Thank you, Heath. I don't think I've heard that one, so very much appreciated.
Kara Lucker wrote, my favorite song that mentions Superman is one called Looking Up, excuse me, by Sidewalk Prophets featuring Meg and Daniel. It's a Christian song, but one of their verses says, yeah, I've been hit with some punches strong enough to make Superman's knees hit the ground. The metaphor of how in life we have gotten hit with things hard enough that it would even knock soups to the ground. And as we know, it's rather a strong punch to knock him down.
Thank you very much. I don't know why I didn't have that one up there for you, the image of it, Cara, but thank you very much. Next up, we had Celeste, who says, my favorite song that mentions Superman is a song called Superman by Morgan Wallen. He too brings out the humanity in the music and true to the character. My favorite parts are when he sings, I don't always save the day, but you know I will always try. I do the best I can, but Superman's still just a man sometimes. Another part is, I can't stop a bullet, but I'll take one. I can't move a mountain, but I'd face one. One day we'll say, where'd the years go? But I hope I'm always your hero. I'm so moved. Thank you, Celeste. Very nice. I'll have to listen to that one too.
Ryan Ignatius Pratt wrote, without a doubt, my favorite song to mention Superman would be the powerful track Love the Way You Lie by NMM. I can't speak tonight. Enriana. Second place goes to Five for Fighting's Moving Superman, which, while not mentioning Superman by name, is of course about him. And third place goes to Bon Jovi's excellent Superman Tonight. My thanks also to Michael Bailey for suggesting I check out Bill Conti's theme for the Colby's TV series. I did look into it and definitely see the parallels with Jay Gruska's theme for Lois and Clark. Until now, Gruska's theme always reminded me of John Williams' main title march from Superman the movie. But now I'll also be reminded of Conti's theme for the Colbys, show I have never heard of before until now.
Thank you very much, Ryan.
And Stephanie Logan wrote, my favorite song that I mentioned Superman is Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. It's still my favorite song to this day, and I jam to any time I hear it on the radio.
Very good, Stephanie. That's one of my personal favorites as well. Love that one, Kryptonite. So thank you to everyone who responded to this fan favorite question. Guys, do you have personal favorites?
I honestly hold that Superman song by Crash Test Dummies is the best Superman song about Superman ever. The thing that I dislike about Five for Fighting song is that it is from the perspective of Superman and it's kind of whiny. And I realize it was the early 2000s, so that was a thing. But when you listen to the Crash Test Dummy song, it's really it's more powerfully about Superman from somebody else's perspective. So it's like somebody else having these thoughts about Superman is one thing, but Superman himself having them, it just got overplayed. It was on every fan vid. Like when Superman Returns came out, like you couldn't go on YouTube without tripping over somebody putting a bunch of images of Christopher Reeve as Superman flying to that thing. So maybe that's part of it.
Mark.
Not really. I just, anytime I hear Superman in a song, I just get happy that he's mentioned in so many songs. I mean, I guess there's a couple that I enjoy, but I just, whenever I hear Superman in a song, I'm like, Superman. They mentioned him. They know him.
Yeah. Mind the Gap. The Phil Collins. I don't know if it's Phil Collins himself. It's probably
Genesis.
Superman, Where Are You Now? When everything's gone wrong somehow.
Yeah.
Men of Steel, Men of Power are losing control by the hour. Yeah, that's a classic one. And yeah, so many great songs that do mention Superman.
No love for Chris Daughtry's Waiting for Superman. I was kind of surprised by that. That's another underrated one. I actually kind of dig that one.
I'm actually researching the idea of writing a book about all the different, because we've got 600 plus songs on our website documented of songs that mention or are about Superman in pop culture. And it's just a fascinating idea of how that idea has changed in throughout the different eras of music. When you start with like the 1940s with the kind of big band, and then into the 50s and jazz, and then you got 60s, with Sunshine Superman and all those different songs, and then into the 70s and 80s, how the theme about how using Superman has changed in popular music and in the lyrics. It's just a fascinating historical look at the music industry and how Superman has evolved in the lyrics and the songs that have used him. So that's another idea I've got for a book, probably 2026 somewhere down the track. But that's a lot more involved because there's not just Superman history involved, there's music history involved in that one. So need to do a lot of research around that. But I think that'd be a fascinating idea for a book. So working on that one as we speak. But John Patrick Van Pelt reminds us of Somebody Save Me by Remy Zero for the Smallville theme. Technically not about Superman, but it was obviously used in a Superman-inspired TV series. So, now everyone's just singing along in their own heads at the moment. So there you go.
Are we?
Excellent. Are we?
Oh.
Michael's trying to get songs out of his head at the moment because...
that's very true.
All right, so our next fan favorite question for this week is, I think one we might have done before, but with so many new ones out now, what is your favorite Superman movie poster? Send us your favorite Superman movie poster to the email address that is on your screen right now. It is info@supermanhomepage.com. info@supermanhomepage.com. Send us your favorite Superman movie posters, and we will look at those when we return to this segment next week. So get involved in the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, let's move into This Week in History. Here we go.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
Okay, not a whole lot this week, folks. In fact, the comics start in 1965 with Brave and the Bold number 63, which teams up Supergirl and Wonder Woman. Brave and the Bold's an interesting title because it started out as kind of an adventure book. With one of the characters was called the Silent Knight, which, in addition to being a pun, was about a knight that just didn't talk because it would give away his identity. Mark Waid would have eventually, by the way, make him a ancestor to the Kents. But before it became a Batman team-up book, they threw a lot of heroes together, and this was one of them. It's an interesting pairing. We're jumping all the way to 1985 with this. We got Action Comics number 575, The Great Brain Robbery. Apparently somebody's a fan of old Star Trek. With Spock's brain. We also have All-Star Squadron number 53, which was a Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover that has the Earth 2 Superman on the cover. And World's Finest number 323, a historic book, as this was the final issue of World's Finest. Superman and Batman broke up over the dumbest reason ever. Superman puts his life on his line, and Batman's like, "You're too important for that. We're done." It's kind of ironic that this Batman says they're done professionally when you had like Christian Bale like losing his mind on the Terminator set. Anyways, going to 1995, we have Superman number 107, which is part of the Trial of Superman storyline. Cyborg Superman has finally got into it. Holding up his Superboy and Steel action figures. He really needs to take better care of those. In 2005, Justice number 2. This was... I keep getting reminded periodically of what a big deal this series was. This like right in the middle of Infinite Crisis 2, but this was basically Super Friends, but for adults. That same week, Superman number 222 comes out. Apparently no one likes Superman's makeup, which is really unfortunate. Being a little unfair. 2015, this is an interesting assemblage of books. We have Doomed number 5, which was quasi Superman related. I did not read this book. It was part of that whole what was that called? DCU? YOU? I think that was the initiative.
Yeah.
We also have Injustice, Gods Among Us, Year 4, number 12, where we have Superman fighting Batman in a daring, creative idea. Justice League, number 45, continuing the very excellent Darkseid War. That was a really good storyline. Superman, Wonder Woman, number 22, continuing the truth fallout in there. We, of course, have them looking very upset and not facing each other. And Teen Titans, number 12, a title I forgot. Let's say Teen Titans Go, number 12? There was also a Teen Titans, number 12.
Oh,
but
okay.
That's kind of interesting that he was also on that one. Probably voiced by Nicolas Cage, as he was in the film. In the real world, October 21st, which is tomorrow or today for Steve, is traditionally recognized as the anniversary of Jonathan and Martha Kent. Very smart of them. I'm surprised that they would get married so close to the harvest, but, things happen. October 23rd, Clark Kent and Lois Lane get engaged in the release of Superman number 50, 35 years ago.
Wow.
Congratulations, Celeste. You no longer make us feel old. This makes us feel old. And October 25th, Makad Brooks, who played James Grown Man Olsen on Supergirl, also played Guardian, I might add, was born in 1980, and boy, that makes me realize that he was like 35 years old in that picture. Does he look 35 years old to y'all? Because not to me. That man is aging gracefully. But that is This Week in History.
There you go. Thank you very much, Michael, for that. Some interesting dates there, some interesting comics to look back on. Very cool. All right, let's push on. And I mentioned conventions, the one in Cincinnati especially. There's a few this coming weekend, but the one in Cincinnati is absolutely huge. It's on the Cincinnati Comic Expo, it's called. It's in Ohio, obviously. October 24th to October 26th. Listen to the number of guests that are appearing at this convention. Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm going to just put up a graphic for it if I can find it. Why am I not seeing? I am not. Yeah, here we go. So here is the graphic for this particular, not that one. We've seen that. All right. So we've got John Bogdanov, Alan Burnett, Howard Chaykin, Frank Cho, Gerard Christopher, Tim Daly, Sarah Douglas, Michaela Hoover, Rags Morales, George Newbern, Jack O'Halloran, Mark Pillow, Tom Welling. They'll be there for all 3 days. Then you've got Erica Durant, John Glover, Kristen Krug, Michael Rosenbaum, Brandon Routh, Helen Slater, and Lorne Vandervoort there on Saturday and Sunday. And then Tyler Hecklin and Elizabeth Tulloch on Saturday only. Like, Cincinnati is the place to be if you're a Superman fan this coming weekend.
I think so.
That's a pretty big thing. I love the fact that they keep pairing like Gerard Christopher and George Newbern and Tim Daly and Brandon Routh and Tyler Hecklin. And they even throw Dean Cain in there a lot too. This, it's like they're a package deal. Yeah. And to be fair, I mean, it's a good package. Don't get me wrong. Wait, that came out wrong. I apologize. No, I mean, that's if I had the money and the means to get to Cincinnati, that's definitely a convention to attend as a Superman 100%. Fan.
Yeah, we've got someone attending and is going to be trying to do some reporting because there are some panels and things that will be taking place highlighting some of these particular actors and creative people. So stand by. Hopefully we'll get some details after this weekend. But yeah, if you're attending, good luck. I hope you enjoy yourself. Otherwise, there are other places. There's one in New Jersey, Texas, New Jersey again, Florida. And if you're in New Zealand, Auckland Armageddon is on this coming weekend as well. All right, let's push on to some interesting stories on the comic book and auction and merchandise side of things to wrap up the last 5 minutes of this show. A car boot sale Superman comic worth thousands is the headline up on our website. So there was this comic book so a little bit of story behind this. So there's a comic book known as The Island Bradman. Now, it was a comic created by it was originally created in 1988 as a unique gift for the bar mitzvah of Daniel Bradman, son of a wealthy businessman, Godfrey Bradman. And it was handed out to some of the guests at that bar mitzvah. And then there was a large amount of them that were left behind or just not taken. And somebody decided to collect them up, and they just kept them in storage for a while. And then they were found at a car boot sale. And this gentleman who has purchased them for just £20 a decade ago didn't realize what he was sitting on, and now they're worth tens of thousands of pounds and are going to be selling at auction. There are 48 copies to be auctioned off this coming, when is it? I think it's very soon at Eubanks Auction House in Surrey in early November.
Okay, I hate this man in ways that I can't describe. So I'm in the process of selling off my single issue Superman books. And for those of you who are like, wow, Mike, why are you doing that? I will point to my bookshelf and the hundreds of trade paperbacks and hardcovers of Superman stuff that I will still own. They just take up a lot of room, and I'm ready. But for the longest time, this was like the one book that was produced during the post-crisis era that I didn't own. Because it was like 1987 or 1988, and I didn't even know it existed until Mark Waid was talking about 10, 15 years ago. And it's just stupid expensive. And this guy just had 48 of them just sitting there.
Got it for £20.
For £20. It's just like...
That's like, what is it, like 25 American or something?
So, no, actually, it would be probably more like 15, 16 American. The pound is much stronger than the dollar right now.
Right, okay.
As I'm reminded every time I look on eBay at things. But no, it's kind of, it was, imagine how rich you are that you
can commission,
contract DC Comics to hire Kurt Swan to draw a Superman adventure starring your kid and his friends. To give out as a giveaway at a bar mitzvah.
A bomboniere. It's crazy.
I'm fascinated.
Yes.
Wow.
All right, we have to quickly wrap up. The last couple of things I wanted to mention. There is Sideshow Collectibles, 2 statues of Superman and Krypto that are available right now to pre-order. There's also Iron Studios Superman Legacy Minico statue that's available. There is a Justice League Trinity Superman print that's available, and there are other different things available that you can purchase. Have a look at them on our website. There's lots of great merchandise that have been released, including a personalized book for children. If you're interested in getting one of those, where you or your kid or someone you know can have an adventure with Superman, and you can even design the person to look like you, which, if you want to have a look, I did one for myself. I didn't actually buy the book, but you can set it up. So have a look. There's me. So there you go. Yeah, you can have adventures.
Steven is everyday wear.
Yeah, that's just me. The way I normally get around. But as you can see, like you can there's different color skins, there are different hairstyles, there are different clothing options that you can make the person in the book look the way you need them to look. All right, well, that brings us to the end of tonight's Superman Homepage live show. Thank you for everyone tuning in to be with us this past hour. Really appreciate your company. Thank you to my co-host, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Michael.
Pleasure as always.
And thank you, Mark.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, Rick Schutzow, Jamie Klingensmith, Tina Murray, and Cara Lucker. If you want to sponsor the show, please head to patreon.com/Superman homepage. All right, we'll be back next week on Monday, October 27th for another edition of Superman Homepage live at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Eunice. Behalf of myself, Michael Bailey, Mark Lax, thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Good night.